morning. We'll kick it off now. Malcolm just posted me. He said he'd be a little late. Our chat about the Trump's mad Greenland gambit. That's the only way to describe it. Hopefully, we'll have a few people joining soon. I had a bit of trouble inviting Malcolm to be. To be honest, but hopefully he'll be here soon. Just hang on. Sorry about that, folks. Hopefully I can get Malcolm on shortly. I'm sitting out here on my porch. Malcolm is in Washington D.C. now, so he's busy, but hopefully he'll be on. The ones of you that don't know Malcolm, he went to Greenland back in was it late April or early May, and he was on Danish TV, the show called Lippert, where he duly warned the Danish authorities about what could happen. Indeed, I've written about some of the same things in my writings in the media here, and as we've seen over the summer, the Danish authorities have sent army units, the Navy, and indeed also F-16s up there with help from our French allies. And we've seen French units up there. We've seen President Macron visiting. French are going to set up a consulate up in Greenland as well. So that's better. We've also seen lately the German Navy being up there to show some presence and to deter Russia from now I'm saying Russia, but deter the US from doing something rash and not being able to launch a covert operation. So that's at least something. Now we've seen the subversive activities have picked up, and there was, as you would have seen, the reporting on the subversive activities that have been reported internationally. It started off with the Danish radio broadcast on Wednesday morning, reporting about some of these MAGA operatives that are traveling back and forth, that are keeping up lists of Greenlanders who are sympathetic to the MAGA movement and want separatism in Greenland. So that is that's one bit of what they're doing. Obviously, they're also reaching out. They're supporting. We already knew that, and indeed, we've also seen how they've supported financially earlier on. So there are various aspects of these subversive activities that I'm sure is of no surprise to Malcolm either, because it was of no surprise to me. As I said, when I was asked by Danish media, I said it's an important story, it's an important revelation, but it's perhaps the least surprising news that we've seen, because basically we've seen all these activities pick up after Trump Jr.'s visit back in. Okay, Malcolm is writing me now. We'll try and get him on. Hang on a sec, folks. Sorry about that. And how do I do this now? Here we go. Give me a sec. Bugger. It doesn't find him. That's odd. Sorry, I'm such a donkey with this stuff. Oh, Malcolm, where are you? Why can't I locate you? Man, no one turns up when I enter his name. Okay, just hang on a sec, folks. I'll try again here. How do I get him? Malcolm Nance. Okay, that's in one. In one. I'm really sorry about this, guys. For some reason, you're doing fantastic. Thanks for the support, Kat. I don't feel I'm doing very fantastic, but this is where is Malcolm? Why doesn't he pop up when I search his name? That's odd. Malcolm, man. What are we saying? Malcolm, Malcolm Nance. Okay, I'll give it one more shot here. Some of you may have followed the live I did last night with Dean Blundell and his mate there, Lev, and they were also mucking around with the technical stuff. So just hang on, I'll shoot him a message. He's on here, so he should be good. Maybe he's not. Bugger it. He'll be on. He'll be on in a sec. Maybe he has to. If he hasn't subscribed to my account, that's possibly it. But anyway, you would have seen some of you the show I did last night, where we talked about the situation in Alberta being much. There he is. Now I can find him. Yeah, invite to join. That's it. Yes, it's waiting for him. He'll be on in a sec. Sorry about that, guys. That's it. There he is.
Oh, am I oriented the wrong way?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
I
all
am.
upside down, but that's all right.
That's about right. That explains a lot of things that's going on here in Washington D.C.
Yeah,
Things
that's
are
appropriate.
upside down in this city right now, and I'm here at whoop. Sorry, I'll just get set up. I'm at Union Station with a veterans group. We are watching the National Guard
Ah,
and,
yes.
and reminding them of what their day job is, which is to protect and to defend the citizens of the United States and not to act like an occupation force. It's that I have to come here and do this. That's amazing. Well, hopefully we'll get some more people will come on because I
Yeah.
sent this out to all my subscribers just now. And so maybe in about 15 minutes as people come on, we can recap the situation that's going on in Greenland. And which is mind-boggling. When you contacted me the other day, I had no idea about the DR report, but
I just wrote to you, the shit hits the fan now.
and I'm like, what now? Right? What now is going on in between the United States and Greenland? Because as many of you or who are listening probably know, I personally thought Jacob and I and Orla
I
and
think it's electronic warfare against Malcolm over there in DC.
oh, it
It's
says your
because
internet's terrible.
I think
It says your internet's bad. Mine's good.
is it mine? I thought it was electronic warfare against you because of your subversive activities in the
Yeah,
states.
that's that's about right. Subversive
Yeah,
activities would be correct. Yeah, anything that defends democracy and NATO now is subversive in
yeah, yeah,
America.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But as I
Yeah,
was saying, I had no idea what that report said. And considering that in when I saw you in April and was in Greenland with Orla Jolson, I thought we had done a pretty good job of ruining the Trump administration
yeah,
plans. Like my interview with Leaper report said, um, I suspected there would be an influence campaign
yeah,
using social media, using their people, but I guess they decided to use an actual individual, which
yeah,
is the weakest plan you could come up with because you have to physically fly into Greenland.
yeah,
You could do this from Northern Virginia better
yeah.
with Elon Musk and a few $1,000s, which shows you that how absolutely ridiculously stupid the Trump administration is. So, can you recap for me who these influencers are? Because I think I know two of them. What are
Yeah,
you
I mean
hearing?
it's a business crowd connected to MAGA,
Right,
and one of them is also within the inner circle of Trump's security policy guys. I wouldn't
right.
say establishment because these guys obviously don't have a clue about national security. So that would be taking it a bit far. But someone that has something to do with security policy inside the Trump administration. So I don't have any names, and I said to DR when I was asked, and also TV2, I said this is a very interesting revelation, but it's the least surprising revelation that that I've seen for a long time. So I didn't want to ditch that news, but it was something that we expected, and it's also in line with the pattern that we knew from the spring when we had Tom Dance and other of these MAGA folks up there. I forget his name, but there's a former special forces guy
Yeah,
that's also been up there and has to do
yeah.
with mining.
Well,
And they're also, putting out these loans where they promise all kinds of stuff with,
right,
yeah. And I said to one of the media, I said, well, basically, that's dirty money. It's like taking money
right.
from Russia or China.
Look, I believe when we were there, and I met with the editor of Sissimia newspaper, and
Oops,
when we,
what happened? Malcolm,
oh,
are you there?
yeah,
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 you're
I'm
back.
here. I'm here.
You're back.
Um,
Yeah.
we had an interview with the editor in chief of Sissimia newspaper, Sissimia newspaper, And he was like, well, who are these people who are the influencers? Back when they were talking about bringing spies, real spies. And as I recapped to the Liefert report and to the local TV there, TV2, oh, now you've gone, um, that these people, real spies, are not going to be identified because they just won't go to Greenland. Oh, that was you.
Yeah.
So, as I was saying, real spies are not going to go to Greenland to talk about trade, to talk about policy. They're not going to go there to talk about who's in favor of Trump, who's not. They're going to go there. They'll fly one young, super fit guy to Kajluswak, and they'll have him do the Kajluswak to Sisimiut Trail, the Arctic Circle Trail. And he will hike in, and he'll go for a week, 2 weeks on foot. Then when he's in Sisimiut, he'll have beers, he'll make observations. And the reason when I came there in April was to spoil that by being the first real spy in Greenland is a retired one whose job it is to tell you this is what they'll do. And of course, I could hear glass breaking all around at CIA headquarters. One from the guys who would have to do it would be like, hey, that guy did a good job of ruining that for us. And then the people in the White House going, well, let's just send our friends and do this under the table. And there are three people I believe are the three people. And we know who they are. It's Donald Trump's director for the Arctic Circle, who used to be also a trade person in there. I can't remember his name right now off the top of my head, but he had been to Greenland several times, and he was here when Eric Trump was here and when J.D. Vance was here. Then below him, there is the person you're talking about, who is a former special operations person. He's on J.D. Vance's national security team as sort of like an assistant policy director for national security in the northern regions, right? But I don't even think of him as a real spy. I think these were what they said were influencers. Okay. And the White House does not use the structures of reality. They don't use any of the systems that are in place. So the easiest place, I said this on television, the easiest place to get information about Nuuk or what's going on in the city would have been the U.S. Agency for International Development's officer in the consulate. And he would go, okay, the fishing boats go out like this. The ferry arrives on these days. Here's all the trade unions. Here's the local leadership. A wealth of intelligence. I believe they fired him.
Yeah.
and I believe, and here's the fun
like
part.
all USAID,
His car is still in front of the consulate. It hasn't been driven for like 7 months. It's abandoned in front of the consulate. That would have been where a real intelligence agency would have gone for real information, general information. Then they would have used their relationships with Greenland, or they would have gone to Special Operations Command, and they would have called up the director of the Mountain Warfare Center, and they would have said, hey, can you send over some of your lessons learned reports about when your guys are up there in the Northeast, what the environment is like, what's the Greenlandic police like, what are the the Danish special forces like. But to send some Yahoo from J.D. Vance's team to go to hang out at Daddy's bar and pour shots of vodka and then say, hey, who are the assholes here who hate America? And who are the good guys that love America? That's about what has happened here. Is they poured shots for people.
Fortunately, they're amateurs.
Amateurs.
It's like they walk around like this with their big chests sticking forward and so on. And if you put a needle into them, they're like zip.
Yeah.
And no brains whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, it's just a terrible state of affairs. It's insane, really.
Oh, what I think is the most insane is the fact that after you, I, and Orla, and what's his name, Rasmus Yarlof,
Yeah,
I personally think we were the three loudest voices. And
yeah,
I I don't want to brag, but when I was
no, no,
sitting in my hotel, the Anzilia,
yeah,
this little old lady came off a cruise ship from Copenhagen
yeah,
4 days later, and she goes, "You're that spy that told us to be careful about the Trump people." And I'm like, wow.
sure, that's
Yeah,
fine.
little 80-year-old lady. And they're like, "Do you think this is serious?" The point is, if I can speak to little old ladies who come from or from Izbia or on a cruise ship going
Yeah,
from Copenhagen to Nuuk, that means that we have penetrated Danish society enough.
yeah,
But the Trump administration thinks that whatever the plan that's happening in their head is better than the fact they think you're stupid and they think that you don't know anything about what's going on. That's amazing to me. Just
yeah,
utterly amazing.
yeah. But I hope they recognized how the French president went up there, and they're opening a consulate general up there too. I think that was a great play by our government to make sure that Macron was up there, to make sure the French helped refuel the F-16s to
Yes.
go up there, and
Well,
with the whole military presence that has been beefed up.
yeah. Well, where did they get that awesome recommendation from? I recall
I
saying
recall.
you should send military aircraft. Special operations should open a training center.
Yeah,
You should create a Canadian-like Rangers. You
yeah,
should put a
yeah,
real warship in the harbor.
yeah,
I was being tongue in cheek, but I was very serious. And
yeah,
I'm afraid to say, between you, me, and Orla, we gave them permission to make those decisions without saying a word. And it
yeah,
happened. And I believe my last line in the interview was, take J.D. Vance at his word.
yeah,
Start sending resources to defend the
yeah,
country.
yeah,
And now, if this Yahoo is there, if you've got helicopters carrying out with a light infantry company in
yeah,
Nook. Nook, I remember saying on TV, you only have 40 cops from Copenhagen there.
yeah,
You're gonna see them with their hands behind their head coming out. You need to put in armed soldiers that
yeah,
change the equation of what's
exactly.
happening. And
Yeah,
it happened.
yeah.
Now that it's happened, you think the Trump people would go, uh, that's
Uh,
off the table now. No,
you
now they're
know,
going through their let's do independence
yeah,
routine. And, because you, me, Orla, we're all on that list.
yeah. You know what? Back in January, when
Yeah.
Trump started saying all this shit,
Yeah.
Politico wrote a piece saying this will be the world's shortest war.
I remember that.
And actually, I used that line after our chat when we had lunch.
Yes.
And when I wrote the piece in this Danish on this Danish outlet, where I said, well, maybe for many Danes they would think it would be the world's shortest war, but it won't be,
No.
because we can do a lot of stuff, and it's not that complicated, and it's not as if we just it's
Yeah.
a foregone conclusion.
Well,
Only if we allow it to be.
it's a ridiculous conclusion because while I was there, my problem with a lot of people was, well, I went all over the country except the Kanat in the south. I'm going there. I'm going to finish the second half of my tour. I'm coming caribou. I'm coming caribou hunting.
Okay.
The
When?
problem that the Americans don't seem to understand is, um, I own a a 6.5 Creedmoor hunting rifle that I bought on Facebook that I gave as a gift to Orla that has very nice optics and a suppressor. There are 30,000 weapons like this, but it's a culture that does not believe, that has never fought each other. These are hunting weapons for muskox and caribou. But if you push a people too far, they will figure out another reason besides shooting seals to use those weapons. And it won't be a short war. It'll have a lot of, there's not going to be a war. Because as we've seen now, you have this alliance with France. I literally said, bring French Alpine mountain troops to Greenland. And here they come. The French are coming. So now, if you invade, you're going to have to invade France. Britain has a relationship. The Canadians are coming into this in a big way. And it's not going to happen. You would have to, mobilizing forces would take forever to do that. So there's not going to be a war. But what there will be is there will be a continuing series of embarrassments of the Trump administration, because this is about Peter Thiel. This is about Elon Musk wanting to create what they call these liberation cities or freedom cities and create data centers on ice in Greenland. It's crazy,
all that crazy, what's it called, praxis community bullshit.
The hell? What's wrong with these people? But the next step, though, is now that these guys have been identified, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has called the consular officer back in. They're going to go. I believe you're going to see that spontaneous Greenland for Greenlanders, right? Kalisat for Kalisut, you know? And it will be coming out of Colorado, right? It'll be machine translated Kalisut, right? Language. And it will be them pretending that they are an indigenous Greenland group. And when I was there last time, I believe that there was that one individual, the Trump of Greenland. When I was there, he wasn't in Nuuk. He was in Budapest.
No, he was in Bucharest.
Bucharest in Romania for a conservative global conference. And that I said, that is the sign that he is going to be, you know, if they were to fly in and topple the government overnight, right? Seize Nuuk Airport with special forces. This is the guy that they would install as the prime minister, as the president there. And this is the way they think. And they create their representatives from pro-Trump groups around the world. And then they give them money, they give them resources, they fly them around. And now, you know, you're going to see him a lot more in Copenhagen, or maybe not Copenhagen, but maybe Bucharest and Budapest and other countries.
But you know why he was in Bucharest? That was because of the Romanian elections. And Tom Dance took him there because he was doing all this shit for the right-wing nut job that was running in the presidential election in Romania.
Right.
So it was just another part of the whole election interference scheme.
But he's the representative now for Greenland as part of the global oligarch, fascist, techno-bro, you know, I would say conspiracy, not conspiracy. For that world, there is a world. Every time there's a conference, he's going to show up at that conference, right? Every time there's a policy discussion, he's going to show up representing Greenland. You know, and he now may as well work for Trump. He probably is getting paid from Make America Great Again PAC or some of these other political action committees. You should really find out who's paying for his airfare, who's paying for his hotel.
I said to Danish journalists on Wednesday, go and have someone find out what's happening to the bank accounts of these people.
Right.
Because,
I'm sure they're being paid as consultants.
Yeah.
And another facet that they do in the United States is they don't just hand you $100,000. What they do is you come to a conference and you speak or you represent, they give you a fee of $100,000 as a speaker's fee for 5 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
And they'll have multiple groups will do it. Every one of those groups leads back to Trump, Peter Thiel, other people like that.
Yeah. I think the guy Boasen, Jan Boasen, as he's called, he would be the only bricklayer that has made it as a tech bro. That'll be a first, right?
Well, brick and mortar data centers, right? Somebody has to lay the brick. I talked to Orla Jolson, and he knew him from like elementary school, right? Nook is this big.
Yeah.
And everybody. And he goes, when he was flown to Mar-a-Lago and became the Trump guy, and he was introducing himself as the Trump of Greenland. And the word Greenland tore around that building and went right to the tech bros. And they were like, we want Greenland. And, they had no idea that they had an ally in the House. And
exactly.
My big question to you is, when they start their global influence campaign, when they start their list of who they want to take to the gulag or whatever, it goes back to the same question. What will the government of Denmark do?
Yeah.
Because the strategy, as we outlined in April, was simple. Split Greenland artificially, right? Create a referendum like Donetsk or Luhansk, right? In Ukraine.
Yeah.
Create a referendum, rig the referendum, and then declare victory, and then special operations soldiers come landing. Well, special operations soldiers is now off the table. You have a liquid defense of the country with air capability, anti-ship capability, anti-submarine capabilities. So it all has to come with one day we're going to wake up, there's going to be a flood of 100 artificial Greenlandic groups in every little village. And no one will ever have heard of these people. And it will all come out of a server in Colorado again.
Yeah. And what we also see, I don't know if you've seen this, but to little surprise to any of us, the Greenlanders are saying, because social media, it's all about Facebook in Greenland.
Right. Greenland's all
Facebook.
And
they're saying, well, but strange things are happening in our feeds. We're getting all this stuff that we wouldn't normally want, because all this shit is being manipulated through Meta. So it's very predictable and very easy to get to the bottom of. I also said to the journalist the other day, go look for that. Go look for evidence. It's all out there. And just
changing the algorithms to where now pro-Trump, pro-mining, pro-technology,
pro-separatism.
Right, pro-separatist movements will now come up into your feed. And Trump doesn't have to do anything. The word is out, right?
Yeah.
That right there, is Facebook. And you're right. Facebook 100% owns Greenland. I mean, I was shocked. When I needed a new parka, I Facebook marketplace. And I go, I need this mecosalic parka. 1 hour later, it was being brought to the hotel. And I was like, this is awesome. I've never seen a place where Facebook had so much power. But it's a small community. It was the first thing they ever learned, and now everybody uses it.
Yeah, but exactly.
Also, I think that, the people who really love their independence or love the idea of them making their own minds, their own self-determination, they should start making their own Facebook groups and calling it out and push the algorithm. Push the algorithm to where they come up at the top. Every village should have, a we're not for sale organization, right?
Yeah.
So that's my impression.
But you know what, Malcolm? One thing that's really important, I think, is to get this out in the American public. To make sure there's more awareness of all this shit happening, because it won't be popular. I'm quite confident.
Well, I'm working on that. I mean, I have over. I think I've got close to 2 million followers in social media, and I put out a big assessment daily of my trip to Greenland, and then I did another assessment. Now I'm going to address this story and explain. My job when I was on national television was I'm not a journalist. I'm a spy that talks on television. And my job was to explain technically difficult intelligence activities to the average watcher. So now I'm going to have to go back and talk about who these individuals are and name them by name. So I think that's the best that we can do.
Yeah. There's been quite some good journalistic work done here in Denmark, not only by DR, but also a couple of the other major newspapers with a lot of names actually that have popped up. I'll send them through to you.
Oh yeah, that'll be great.
And also make sure if some of your contacts in US media want a voice from Denmark,
absolutely,
just have them call me because it's important that we talk about this, because it's insane. There's no other way to say.
Absolutely ludicrous. Yeah. Well, listen, I have to go back and try. I'm here. The Capitol is behind me. You can't see it down the road there.
Yeah.
But I'll give you a view from the United States. This is Union Station, the major train station here, where the National Guard, there were about 40 of them a few minutes ago. And this would be like Denmark stationing 100 soldiers at the plaza in front of Arctic Nord, right? No, Magasin du Nord. And you're like, what the hell is this about? Well, welcome to the fledgling new American dictatorship. And now we have veterans out here. Our job is to remind the soldiers they don't work for Donald Trump. They work for us, the American people. We'll do another Substack Live. I'm going to deep dive more into this.
Exactly.
I'll do it on mine. I only have like 100,000 followers, so.
Exactly, but that's wonderful. Substack isn't a big thing in Denmark yet, but I'm trying to build it up.
Okay.
But anyway, make sure you give my regards to the veterans. I will. As I wrote to you, I was supposed to have been to a veterans gala last night, but I have an eye infection, as you can probably see. So I'm on. It's antibiotic, eye drops, and all that stuff. So I look like a real donkey. I should have worn a shades like you, but anyway. But Malcolm,
take care.
Great of you to join. We'll be in touch. We'll make new lives about what the hell is going on in the world.
God,
it's a mad place to be these days, and there's a lot of need for good and unfiltered analysis.
Yeah, well, you get someone to invite me out to speak, and I'll be right out in Copenhagen in no time. I loved it while I was there.
That's great. See you soon,
Take care.
Malcolm.
All right, Jacob. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.